Hey, this is JD with the Flow Bro Show. I'm with Florigens. We got Billy, we got Blake, the Natural Born Filmmaker, and we got Jermaine, Maintain the Dream, Hughley from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the good TikTok. You guys know who this guy is. Come on now.
Hi guys. What's going on, everybody? Like you said, I'm Jermaine. I'm half of the Hughleys, but they also go by Maintain the Dream on TikTok. We're here on the Flow Bro Show, and we're gonna have us a good podcast, good interview. It's gonna be great. Y'all stick around and see it, because if you don't, I'm gonna be upset. All right, stay there.
This episode of the Flow Bro Show is brought to you by
Big Florida Energy.com.
All right, y'all, we're gonna do some digging. Let's get into it. Y'all ever been to Crazy too?
No.
Oh, you have?
I've been up
Where
there.
is it in Tampa? Is it?
Actually, it's St. Pete.
The
right?
Clearwater area, I think. It's not on the
It's St. Pete or Clearwater? Clearwater. It's right on Pier 60. Right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to go there a lot back in the day, but I think it like hurricane or something tore it up or something. They rebuilt it, so they want us to come in and kind of like film and do all that stuff.
So when you get called to go to these places, they're obviously using like your profile and stuff from social media as a way to generate business for whatever cause or whatever.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whatever they're doing.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of people now what we're getting for the most part. I don't know if y'all been following me the last couple of days. We were in Vero.
Yeah, I've been seeing you on Facebook.
But we're as a family, we're at a point where we're trying to like save these communities. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of these communities that are getting overlooked, and there's small things in the community that people can go do, like good food spots and stuff, and nobody's really going there. So we're like highlighting the area to help bring business into the area. So that's kind of where we are now with a lot of these events and, you know, businesses that call us out. They're either struggling or if they're a good business, it's a new location.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's like when I go out of town, my emails are like, hey, come here. Like I'm being pulled everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets tiring.
So do they pay you to come to these places?
Yeah,
or they just kind of treat you?
I don't move for a certain price.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's just where I'm at now. Before, I used to do everything free.
Yeah.
Until I realized what my power was. And that was probably about a year ago, the first time we were in Clewiston, when we saved that first business.
Yeah.
I said to myself, look, man, we gotta like, I appreciate what we do, but when it comes down to hotel costs.
Yeah, it gets expensive, man, running around.
Gas, you know. So I was like, all right, we got a set budget that we gotta have, especially if we bring the family. So if we bring everybody, it's a set price. If it's just me and my wife, it's a set price. So
Yeah.
we kind of like, you know, treat it as a business now, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do anything for free anymore.
No, I get it, man.
Yeah, I can't. I love to. Even if they offer food, a lot of people be like, oh, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. But it's like, all right, you give me, let's say, even $100 worth of food, but I get you, you know, 50 loyal clients, you're making money like for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and I come from business. I've been a business owner since I've been 25, and marketing is my thing. So I understand how it all goes. So yeah, that's just where we are now. But I love it. It's tiring, but I love it. I feel like a truck driver. Now I'm just on the road. My kids, they used to love hotels, vacation. Yeah. Now it's like, all right, guys, we got to go to a hotel this weekend. Oh, man.
Another one?
Yeah, but it's fun.
So what I want to ask is how you kind of got started doing this, your background, how you got involved into getting to where you're at successfully on all the platforms. Start off like an origin story of Jermaine and his family.
How I would start it is back in like 2016 maybe, me and a buddy, we were like, hey man, because I was doing music at the time. And a buddy of mine, we spent a lot of money. So we was like, hey man, look, I'm gonna start this, you know, recording studio. And I ended up going like to, you know, those storage units, but the ones that you could actually like live in. Mm-hmm. So I went and bought one of those, put $25 down. And from that moment, we became a really big studio. Then I'm rushing this part just a little bit because it just has to tell you where it came from. So when we did that for about 4 years in that storage unit, and then we had an opportunity to buy one of the biggest recording studios in the area. It was called North Ave, and everybody, like rock star wise, had recorded there. And the place was just being run down, and nobody was really taking care of it. So me and a bunch of my buddies, we put all our money together, and we got the spot. Ended up being the #1 recording studio in Florida. We recorded like anybody of anybody. I'm talking about from country music to rap. And you can just name people. We had Jelly Roll in town.
Wow.
Like we did big name people. And that kind of like died off. We had a big artist come in one day. His name was Archangel. He's one of like the biggest reggaeton artists. And he bought our studio out for 2 months. We were like, man, we love this. Like, we don't have to do anything. We're making money. So what I did from that moment is I went off and got this 4,000 square foot media studio, started doing commercials, music videos. Pandemic hit. Things really started going downhill for us. We had to close the studio for like 2 years. We got robbed at the media studio. Man, we put 70,000 into that building, and we got just robbed back to back. One day,
Like somebody broke in and stole.
next day, yep. Soon as they were watching us, we ended up finding out who it was. But they were watching us. They waited until we brought in all the equipment, computers, and all this stuff. But I was at a moment where I was just like, look, this ain't working anymore. COVID's hitting. We got to figure out how we can, bring the little bit of business that we can bring in. So I started like doing videos. Instagram was rolling at the time. TikTok had just started like becoming like an American, thing. And we started doing these little TikToks, whatever, whatnot. And then the world shut down. When the world actually shut down is when me and my wife kind of picked things up. We were doing like little small marriage content, making people laugh and stuff. But we had one video that hit. When you put your hand on the wall and you scratch your elbow and then you put it back. That was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Man, we went to sleep. We did it one night. It was late. It was like 2 a.m. And we went to sleep. We woke up the next morning, and when I woke up, ton of like notifications through TikTok, and I really wasn't even doing TikTok like that. And when I woke up, I started seeing all the notifications. I'm like, babe, look at this. Like, man, we got like 100,000 views on here, and that's not even like, to me at that time, bananas. Like 100,000. Like my highest video was like 60 views.
Yeah.
So I'm like 100,000. And then all that day, growing. Ended up doing like 3 million, in the week, right?
No.
So I'm like, all right. They weren't really paying you yet either over there. So I was like, man, that's a lot of money missed. Yeah. Right? So we kind of stuck with it for a little bit. And then we did this other, video that kind of went viral at Starbucks. You go to Starbucks and the barista's always really super nice. Hi, honey, how you doing? So I let the lady talk, and I was filming me, and then I also was filming my wife, and my wife was sitting there like just looking, like just staring at me.
Yeah.
And then she was like, right.
Yeah, she's like,
and I'm talking about that video went super viral, but there was a lot of hate on that one. Oh, why she acting like that? But that right there, that's when I figured out this is what it is.
You're onto something.
Controversial things and relatable.
Yeah.
I don't care what relationship you in. I don't care if you super secure and y'all in a great spot, in a great place. If a woman or a man is coming at your spouse, you're going to feel a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So it was relatable. So ever since then, I kind of took all the content that we was making, especially like the marriage content, make sure it's relatable to relationships, not toxic, funny.
Yeah.
The stuff that everybody's doing, honey, go get me this. So we created like an image from there. The Hughleys kind of started there. But there was a point in time when social media kind of like, they were really like giving it to the creators. Like, here, post, we're going to pay you guys and it's looking good, right? And we were in that. Like, we were in that moment, like 22, 23, we were doing 1 billion plus views a year during like that coming out of COVID. Yeah. That was a weird moment, you know what I mean? For social media people, because it was like, even though that people were in the pandemic, the social media people were making money. And it was a weird thing because it was like we had nowhere to go. You couldn't really do nothing. But when the world opened up, it was all new content that we could do. So I started going to restaurants, helping the restaurants that were doing takeout only. And we go do all that for free. We were doing it for free, just showing up. Every restaurant, y'all got takeout? We're doing it. And then we started doing millions of views there. And then let me know if I'm going too long.
No, keep going, man.
So we did like 1 million views. We were doing millions of views just in our hometown, DeLand. So all of these restaurants that I named off to y'all yesterday, they all know me. They all been in there. There's people that have been coming here for years, going to the restaurants just because we told them, right? So after we did that, a lot of our content just started growing from there. So Facebook just started growing. Our TikToks was growing. People were starting to just know the name because the popularity of the name. And I said to myself, all right, if people know us just from the little bit of videos that we post, what if I just go ham with this? What if I go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and if every time you open up your phone, you at least see one of my videos? How can I do that? So I said to myself, all right, bet, when we're up right now, the other side of the world sleep. But when we sleep, the other side of the world is up. So I said to myself, I'm going to stay up in the middle of the night. I'm going to post at 1 a.m. I'm going to post at 3 a.m. And I'm going to post at like 6 a.m. So I kind of put myself on a schedule. So I would sleep kind of like during the day just to make sure I'm up at night. And I would just post. And I would just post, getting my page into the overseas algorithm. So all of a sudden we started getting all these people from like Poland, and we would go live, and all these people in like Scotland and
different audiences.
like just Colombia, like just weird people coming in. We love your stuff. I'm thinking about, do y'all even understand it?
Right.
Like, do you understand it? Like, but we were booming. Like when I had my media company, I had like when we were doing the social media, we had clients in Australia. Like literally, people were like wanting just to do stuff with us in Australia. And I'm like, man, y'all so far, on the other side of the world. This is crazy. But once I realized that there's a market for this kind of content, it kind of like just took off. But algorithms changed when, like, a lot of people don't know this, but like Google kind of like took over all social media statuses. So if you post something like on these social media pages, no matter what it is, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, just name it, Google takes that information and puts it into their AI system. That AI system is a thing. And if it's put somewhere in the web of social media, it can be found on Google. So that's why I write my statuses a certain way that if somebody's looking up something, they do it. So when I figured that out, I was like, all right, if I put all of these things together, it has nothing to do with what camera I'm using, if I got a lapel mic, if I got any of that. People want that really quick, just down to earth. I can relate to that content. And that's everything that I put out. And from there, it just spiraled. But one day it kind of like slowed down. My wife was like, look, why don't you just do something different? You're always talking about Florida. Just do something about Florida. And I was like, no, I ain't doing nothing on Florida because it's going to be stupid. Ain't nobody going to listen to it. Because at this time, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know about any other Florida creators. Like the ones that are, big now. I didn't know about any of them. I didn't even know they were a Florida creator thing. I didn't know you could, do that. But one day I put out a video. It's still the top video on my TikTok. I leave it there because, I think I might have mentioned this to you, that I leave it up there because I wanted to just remind me of where what the first one was. So I went, I put the video out and it did like 6,000 views. And I was like, all right, might be onto something because TikTok had just opened up that long form, paying you for long form content. Anything over 1 minute, they'll pay you for it. A lot of people didn't opt into it, but I did. I was like, look, that's all I'm doing is long form if you're going to pay me good. So I put out that video and did like 6,000. I was like, all right, that's cool. And then I waited about 2 or 3 weeks and I put out another one about like alligators and it did like 1.4 million. And I say, this is it. Every day after that, I've done at least one video about Florida. And I think that's where I am now, and how I got to that is because if there's anything that you need to know about a town in Florida, just random stuff, like either a community, a store, anything, you can come to our page and get it. A lot of people tell us like it's like a TV station. If we come to your page, it's literally like a TV station. So now That's what I'm going after. You can come to our page, you can get anything over here, and it's wholesome. Anybody can watch it. There's no cussing. Yeah. There's none of that. And when the history, kind of took off, these professors and like my videos are in classrooms. So I'm thinking like, I'm a totally different person now. Mm-hmm. It's not even about, family content or what restaurant. People are relying on the history now. So this is just where I am,
Because we're losing it.
We are.
We're losing it at a rapid rate.
And I'll say this, it's not even about Black communities. It's not even about the white towns.
It has nothing to do with,
It has everything to do with the Florida history all the way back from native time to where we are today.
I do notice in a lot of your videos, you do go back that far to indigenous tribes. And some of them you do go back that far and be like, I don't know how they made it during this,
Right.
I like that you don't just like go back 100 years. You go back like
I go way back. I go way back.
You do a lot of digging.
I do some digging.
You do a lot of digging.
The reason why I did that is a native hit me up. A guy, he was in a tribe and he hit me up. We had a really good conversation. And I wanted to talk to him just to see if I was, doing it right. Like I didn't want to like disrespect the tribes or anything like that. Right. But man, when I talked to him, I learned a lot. A lot of the names of Florida that we say and how we say it, we are saying it wrong. Yeah. It's how they hold their U's and their A's and when they use it. My biggest thing was I argued with so many people about, this is how you should say it. You should say it like this. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm not even going to start arguing with these people because if I say what I really know, it'll be just an argument. Mm-hmm. But talking to a native, somebody that's actually living on a reserve, I learned a lot from them. So I always put it in there now. It started, from the natives. I just want to respect it.
That's good that you're giving that portion of history credit because that does get overlooked a lot.
It do.
It really does.
It do. And another thing that gets overlooked a lot is, all Florida history gets overlooked. And a lot of the history too is wrong. Not on the fact of it being wrong as, I'm telling it wrong but a lot of it's just lost. Mm-hmm. And people are just guessing it, you know what I'm saying? And putting the pieces together. But if once, what I want to start really getting out of this is if I can get to a point where small communities that have been looked over, towns that have been looked over, because like I said, it's not even about a black and white thing. Like I did a thing with farmers in Lake Mary. A lot of the farmers in that area got their land taken. It got gentrified, the farmland taken. I just went out and did something with a company called Organic Meats. Okay. And they were part of this whole thing. Like these farmers had that land for years, generations, passed down, 7 generations, the land is theirs. And, the city of Lake Mary come in and, take that farmland and build shopping centers. And that might not mean nothing to the everyday person, but a farming family. And that's what they've been living off of for the last 30, 60 years. That means a lot. They don't have that land no more. What are they going to go do? Go work somewhere? Like all they know is farming. Yeah. So I like touching, on things like that as well. And a lot of people look over that. Like they look over all Florida stuff. And there's a guy, he's hilarious. Things Beyond Florida. I don't know if y'all seen this.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Now he's changed his stuff and just going into
the development.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he got someone tried suing him recently.
They're going after him.
Because he exposed some stuff.
Yeah.
Slanderizing then I'm like, that's
I'm sitting there thinking like, hey man, it ain't his fault. He just like in the news.
Exactly.
He's just showing the facts.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
Right. And it's stuff like that we need. And it's a lot of people that are doing it in different angles. Yeah. And then it's like, if we just do this enough, it works.
We all work together on it. Yeah. Right? We're all kind of hinting at the same thing. You're giving the history, which is great because you're kind of revealing like, hey, this is what is happening in this town. This is what used to be here. This is what you need to support now. We got other like us. We're kind of
sticking out, stop developing Florida signs.
We're kind of not so much protesting, but we are kind of putting a word out there that's like, bro, enough's enough with this.
Do y'all get any
like pushback?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, because we're not targeting specific people or specific like developments. Yeah. We're kind of just like everyone in Florida is like sick of what's going on, and we're kind of just like, look, we're putting out signs.
Yeah.
Just at random places.
Y'all just being like blatant with it.
Yeah, we're
too,
kind of just like being. It's
Yeah.
almost more of like entertaining, comedic. That we're. It's like everyone wants to do that, but we're actually doing it.
Yeah.
But we're not like going after a specific.
Yeah, we're not like
No, I get you.
developer or something like that.
You know, I get you. But I still think it's cool because at the same time, y'all are highlighting an issue that, you know, Florida tries to do a lot. Because I just did a video about the undeveloped land in Florida, about how they're developing on land that they shouldn't even be developing on.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing too. It's just like, they don't care.
No.
You know,
I don't.
Of course, people need somewhere to stay. More people are coming to Florida, of course. Yeah, we know that. But there's things that in areas I feel like they shouldn't be touching. Did y'all, and I'm sorry to go off.
You're good.
A couple months ago, did y'all get reached out to by the state of Florida, these people in Florida, about when they were trying to do the golf courses and the thing? Did they reach out to y'all?
You mean we had other groups trying to oppose
They're
it.
trying to build stuff on golf courses.
Yeah, when
Or
they're
the
trying
state
to-
parks thing?
Right. So
Yeah.
they, I don't know who the initial lady was, but it was somebody from actually some big thing in the state of Florida. And she contacted the only reason I noticed is because the other creators contacted me.
Yeah.
So she went through and just contacted all the top Florida creators, right? Gave us this big long thing in there, what they're doing. And she's like, could you guys please just put out a video? So we all did simultaneously.
No way.
Wix put out one, we all put out these videos, right?
Okay.
And that junk stopped immediately. It was over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
They deaded it.
Yeah, it blew up on social media for a week, and then
he
it
was
was
murdered.
and then DeSantis comes out, is like, we're not doing that, or we're going back to the drawing board.
Oh yeah, he got some. They was like, what?
Yeah.
But that's crazy. It's like you hate or love whoever's the governor, but it's like if they're doing something and if all the Floridians speak up against it, or it's like they have to listen.
Yeah, they gotta listen.
And it's we're able to use social media now as a voice.
I know. I don't know if we got reached out to, but we did get reached out to somebody that was a big Florida creator, and she was wanting us to do something. So we did a podcast about it, as it was going on. We did it during our podcast episodes, but we didn't actually put out a video. It was just on on a podcast.
Yeah, but people saw it though.
Yeah, some people saw it.
Yeah.
We started our podcast during our local election season.
Yeah.
So our first 2 or 3
When recently?
last July.
So y'all have been doing this for a year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been legit a year to almost the day.
Yeah, really.
Really?
Yeah. So our first podcast we
Well,
dropped.
that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
We dropped our first podcast episode in the second week in July. We
Yeah.
filmed it maybe around sometime in June or the end of June. And then we dropped it in July. But we started the Flow Bro show coming together to create this right now.
How do y'all like it? What do y'all?
We're learning.
I'm sorry to ask y'all questions. I don't know if that's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool,
But,
man.
but how do y'all like it? Because the thing is that I'm working on my own podcast, so you know what I'm saying. But how do y'all think the message that you guys are trying to put out hits better through the podcast or through your content?
I think the content for right now, with our blunt approach to the stop developing, stop moving thing,
Yeah,
that we're
just
trying
right
to
in
push,
your
and
face.
plus the Hank thing, it's a shock factor.
Yeah.
But I think the podcast stuff is great because talking to somebody like you, we're getting your origin story, and that's not easy to put out there. We can just do little clips. So I mean, I definitely do like doing the podcast.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun, but it's that content out in the street and that shock factor stuff is just, I feel where it's at. We get much better reactions from that.
Right.
So we started the podcast show, right? First for all the content, and then we weren't really growing. So then we were okay, well, how do we grow on social media outside of just doing a podcast? Because we want to bring people on like you. And it's just how do we get these people to actually want to come on our podcast? It's well, we have to grow on social media. We have to have followers.
Yeah, you gotta
we
have
have to have
We got some
an
meat
audience.
behind our, we got some something.
Yeah,
some
so then we were just started doing videos and
reels and stories, and then we started we came up
So-
with this stop developing and stop moving to Florida
So
stuff.
I'm the blunt one. I'm the one that
Yeah.
just walk right up to somebody and be like, hey, so I was like, let's go out and just fucking grab this microphone and just start talking to people and asking them if they're from Florida. Because
Right.
we already know majority of people aren't from Florida.
Yeah.
And it was kind of putting people on the spot, but that shock factor, you get a lot of people lying to you about being from here and they're not. And
Yeah,
and
that's it. Yeah,
crazy.
they want to be.
they want to be, but
And they say they will, but they weren't born here. They're like, I've been here for 5 years. And they're like, yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
from
well, that's not
Florida.
what I asked. Where's
Yeah.
your mother
What are you talking about?
give
Yeah,
birth to you at?
where are you from?
Yeah.
Where were you
And
born?
And it's
on your
not
birth
we
certificate?
weren't trying to cause segregation by oh, if you're not from Florida, you're not one of us kind of thing. That's not what it was. It was just, Florida is like the second state out of second to Utah of having people actually from Florida that were born there. So it's like a 35% people from Florida are actually born there. So we got this mass.
Really?
We got this mass. Yeah, I googled it like a year ago. I'm sure the numbers maybe changed.
That's low. 35%.
35% of people in Florida were actually born in Florida. That's it.
Yeah.
Now the other
could
It's because
see
our
that
population's like
our population has boomed because everybody's moved down here and they were born from somewhere else.
And the thing is that 35% is a 35% and a big number.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you just cut off the bottom half of Florida. South Florida, that's majority just a melting pot of all kind of cultures. So I would definitely understand that, but you don't really think about that.
Yeah, when you go up to like northern Central
never
Florida
Googled
and the Panhandle, there's just some more generational stuff there, and in the center, maybe some
Panhandle ain't
spots.
even Florida.
Yeah, it's not even Florida.
The Panhandle is not Florida. Well, I when people say that, we all laugh.
Yeah,
But man, it's so true.
It is.
Like, I haven't been in the Panhandle a lot, but when I was in Panama City, we were there for like 4 days. And great town, great area. But you do really realize that, man, this is a whole nother place. A, we're in another time zone. B, it looks nothing like the Florida that we know. That kind of like, even with the beaches, especially on the coast there, like in the Gulf, when you get to like Destin and all of that stuff, it don't look like our, beaches. It's not even a whole area over there that you'd be like, oh yeah, all right, I could tell I'm in Florida. And I did a leaving, I had passed my turn with a GPS. And, we don't have a lot of Piggly Wigglies, in our area.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's one in like Palaca.
I've been to it.
there?
I've been to
Yeah,
it.
there's like one in Palaca or something.
Yeah, and
Which is
there's
kinda
one in
close.
Mariana, right? Mariana, North
Okay.
Florida.
But they used to be here.
Yeah,
a
there
lot.
was. There was one in Ruskin growing up.
Down south, we had one in Orlando. We had there was one in I think Sanford, long time ago. Yeah. But we don't have them here. So I stopped and I was like, oh shoot, they got a Piggly Wiggly here, but this must be a country town. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that video got like 2 million views.
Yeah.
And it's just me and my wife voice.
Yeah.
She was like, what's a Piggly Wiggly? Is it a grocery store? And everybody's like, people like, I'm sitting there thinking, they have no idea she's from Canada. She's from Canada. She has no idea what this stuff is, guys. But you see how that's relatable? Like people don't realize that Piggly Wigglies aren't in South Florida.
Do you remember Food Lines?
Yeah, we had one. Where we at? Right. So where we are now, there was a Food Line right there in this little plaza where Sonny's is.
Yeah.
There was one there. Man, my mom would go in there every day. When you go to Food Line, the first thing you got to do is go get the coupon book. They used to have it right by the by where you get your little basket. Yeah. And that was how you shop there. And if you think about it, coupons are like, what's a coupon these days? If it's not like buy one, get one free, that's the only coupon I need to know about. Like if I can get one of these things free, I don't care about none of that. But yeah, Food Line, man. Yeah. That's way back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Publix has definitely got the market cornered down here. They've knocked out pretty much all the competition.
I have a good relationship with Publix.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a good relationship with a lot of the, major places that are doing things here in Publix. They reach out. They comment on my stuff all the time.
Have you done content for them? Like actually like...
Kind of, but not really.
No, it's more of like you've shouted them
I'm
out.
just
They
doing
like your
it.
stuff, and it's more of
So some of the personal Publix have come out to me. I know one of the managers in Orange City.
Yeah.
He wanted me. I did something a long time ago, about a year ago. They had the new pub sub they had. I forgot what it was, like a Cajun.
okay.
They had like a Cajun sub at one point. So I did a video on that for them, but nothing like from the head, but like Old Florida chips. I do a lot of
We
stuff.
got some of those in the kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff for them. Coca-Cola, we done stuff with Coke.
Wow.
Have you tried Everglades, that Everglades seasoning company that's down in South Florida? They got like barbecue rubs. Actually called Everglades.
Yeah.
Everglades seasoning.
But the thing
It's a
is,
Florida company. They've been around for decades.
the thing is, you know, companies like that don't reach out
Yeah.
because I don't barbecue.
Yeah.
I might eat a lot of food, but I don't barbecue. Now, if I barbecue, I won't say that because before we moved into the house we're in now, we used to get a lot of brand deals through like TikTok and stuff. We'd do like people would say it was candles, seasoning, all kind of stuff, but it wasn't our content. I figured out quick that you got to be careful what you take from people. You can't just take everything because if it don't really resonate with your brand, yep, and it just won't work. And there's so many companies that we would test out. I mean, I did like the marijuana boxes. I did like the adult candy stuff, and we did millions of views for them, and nobody bought anything. But we did a stroller. I did a stroller video, did millions of views. People bought a ton of the strollers. We also did a stool for my son. So we'll put the stool in a video. I did one when I was stealing the kids like snacks and I used the stool. We have a thing that I'm short. My wife's taller than me. So I got on the stool. She was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just getting some chips." So I got off of the stool. She was like, "You're using your son's stool." That video did great. And we sold a ton of them. We actually sold so many of those that they sent us the newer version. And we had to tell them like, "Look, we can't do it for free anymore."
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. They were like, I don't think we ever heard back from them. Yeah, I ain't heard back from them.
I mean, it's like you give them all that business, and then they're like, it's like,
But I get it.
Yeah.
There's a line where companies will reach out and be like, "Hey, we'll give you the product for free for you to make the video," but they won't give you money on top of that.
Right.
You know how many people reach out to us asking for those Stop Developing Florida signs for free? Oh, send me some of those. I put them out. I'm like, they don't cost me. They're not free to me.
It's like over half
Yeah.
the
I'm like, I'm not sending you these signs. If I gave everybody a sign, we'd be in the red.
Right. Be like, hold on. Let me call the water company real quick. Hey, real quick. Water company? Yeah. I'm not going to pay my bill this month because I'm giving away signs. People don't understand that. That's what I was saying earlier. It's just like, all right, if you know the person that you're contacting brings value, why wouldn't you, why do you feel like it's okay for you to be like, "Oh, I didn't think I would have to, pay for it. And we thought you come out and do it for free. So you want me to get in my car. You want me to drive over to your establishment. And it's cool you giving me free food or a free product. But like I said, if I give you just one loyal customer and they're there for years, that value of them keep spending that money is going to be bigger than that meal you gave me.
It is, yeah.
I have a question about that. Do you remember when you had that turning point when you started like asking or charging people or a brand to promote them?
I never really...
Or just kind of happened.
Well, yeah, it just kind of happened. But like I said, I had a marketing company in my hometown. We were downtown. We would... it was Dream Marketing. Right now, if you Google it, it's probably still the #2 marketing company.
Is that where your
And I've been closed since like 22.
Dream came from?
No, Maintain the Dream came from my music name.
Okay.
That was my rap name. And then that kind of died out. It stuck with me because I was popular doing the music. And it just stuck with me. So if you call me Maintain the Dream, that thing went off. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It just died, it's fine.
If you call me Maintain the Dream, I know where you know me from. If you call me Jermaine, I know where you know me from. If you call me the Florida guy, I know where you know me from. And just to touch on that a little bit, and this is not to knock any creator at all, but when I started creating, I said to myself, I'm not going to be the creator that if I blow up from something, I don't want to have to go out there and do that every time I am somewhere. Even though I did some digging, even though I got all these quotes, I said to myself, if I was going to be a popular creator, I want to be just the guy that everybody like. So if I came around and I did things, I would be the guy that everybody like. And it's not like, "Oh, do the thing for me." Oh, do the, say the. So when people come around, I have so many threads. I always say it to my wife. My wife was like, "Why don't we do some of the dances?" I'm not getting up there dancing. I'm not doing that. Well, I don't stitch. A lot of people don't realize that either. I don't stitch videos because, and the reason why I've never, did any of these things is because I want to be the person to be stitched. So ever since I started creating content, always would create sound bites. If y'all realize, like even some of the marriage content, like the "Hey babe, you want to do this TikTok with me?" Like these are sound bites. And the thing is, if you can connect these people in the first 3 seconds, and then after you connect them, give them something right after the connection. Keep them there. So I have 20, 30 threads that I do on my page. If it's the comedy stuff, if it's me going, me running down the stairs, "Hey babe, you want to get it in real quick?" And she come up with some stupid reason why she don't want to do it. And then I just walk off. Like that's relatable to these relationships. We all go through that. Right. But the thing is that it's funny. And if somebody else does that, I know they got it from me. Because in 2022, one of our biggest sounds got stolen from us. And it did 700 million views, and we only maybe got paid for like 7 million of the views, right? Some other guy stole it from Facebook, put it on TikTok. And everybody, every celebrity, every creator that's a big creator that do stitches and stuff, they did it. And it's still rolling to this day. It's a sound where it's like, "Hey babe, I'm about to go out with the guys. It's okay if I, go hang out for a little bit?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And I was like, you want me to bring you something back? You want me to get you something to eat?" And she was like, "No, sure." And then after everything, I'll be like, "All right, y'all, I can't go." Because I can just tell in my wife's voice, right? Tone, yeah. So that was one of the biggest sounds. Like I actually got contacted by TikTok and Facebook. That was one of the biggest sounds in 2022.
Wow.
And we got none of the residuals for it. Like I said, I got paid for like 7 million, which is great at that time. But I mean, I probably would be living somewhere in California somewhere. No, I'll never leave Florida. But but the thing is that moment I learned you got to protect yourself and you got to make sure that you're putting a stamp on everything you do. So when somebody does it, if anybody takes anything from me now, there's another guy in Florida. He's a creator. He's got a beard. And at the end of this thing, he used to say, "The more you know." Y'all might have seen him before, right? He's white guy, long beard, and he do Florida stuff too. He do about alligators, but he's big. And he do a lot, but he would do that at the end of his videos. And then one day I got tagged in like his comments. And then I went through a lot of his videos. Every one of his videos and his comments, people was like, I didn't even know I was getting tagged. But they're tagging, "Hey, that's his phrase. Don't say that. Y'all can't say that." He stopped saying it. So he no longer says it at the end of his videos. So when you got people that's rooting for you and they know you from something, they're gonna hold you down on social media.
Stick up for you.
Right. And at the drop of a dime though, it could go the other way too as well. You do one thing that's wrong and your whole thing could change. Luckily I haven't done anything. But me personally, I tell people all the time, I'm me. I don't care. I've had a past. If you know me, you know me. And this is what I do now. Because one day I did a business spotlight for somebody, and the lady, she was older, and she couldn't see the business spotlight that I did. She couldn't see it. So she was like, "Oh, I can't believe, you didn't put out the business spotlight. You didn't do it." So on her comment, everybody was like, "Wait, you got the business? Wait, he did yours already." And she was like, so she wrote me in an email, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know there's all this other stuff." So people will try to make you look bad. But if you're just a good person, you'll be all right. I kind of just figured that whole thing out. But
well, it's like you built a community and then people like you. So if they see something negative or someone calling you out for something and they know it's not true, they're going to get your back. So it's kind of, you've like built that.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Right. And not to take too long on it, but I realized that once people started seeing my family, the family dynamic that we have, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, y'all doing this for social media?" It's like, nah, this us. Before we were born, like we took vacations, like we take road trips, Tennessee, Louisiana. Like this is what our family does. Like this was it. We just started filming it, and people, actually thought we were like at the beginning, people were like, "Oh, you guys are just doing this and social media. You guys travel a lot. How can you guys travel so much in times like this?" And you'd be like, what? What do you mean? And it'd be like, and people didn't really understand that, we're getting called out to, all of these cities. It ain't like we just traveling, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And people like, "Man, you guys eat out all the time." No, we're working. People want us to do this. Like, how do you guys stay fit? I'm not fit.
I walk a lot.
Right.
I'm digging.
It's like, right. It's like, what are you guys saying? Like, I am not fit at all. And it's like, I don't know how you guys do this. You guys should cook more. We do cook. So people, when you realize that, it's like, y'all thinking that all I'm doing is eating out, but I'm just filming it and y'all seeing it. But like, I'm eating just as much as everybody else. Y'all just ain't filming it.
Yeah.
And the fact that we monetize that as a family, that's when people started really just giving and caring about everything that we did, is when they knew that this was a family dynamic. And they knew that I was a family man. They knew that, I was married, and that grew the brand even bigger.
Yeah.
Now my kids, they're more viral than us. Like, we've been on Ridiculousness. We've been on all the comedy shows. Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that. That's cool.
One of my top videos is my son. I was like, hey, boy. Hey. Yeah. And he was like, you need a daddy? Yeah. That video, that's a huge threat for us. I just dropped one the other day in Vero Beach, and it's just me going up to my wife. Hey, fine. Like, hey, these your kids? Yeah, these are my kids. Leave us alone. Hey, boy, you need a daddy? And then just cut it right there. Sugar Daddy. I call it Sugar Daddy Chronicles, right? But the thing is that it's hilarious. It's relatable, and it shows that you can never stop hitting on your wife. Yeah. And and the thing is that it's corny. But we all do it. Yeah, when we in that moment, we want to just say something nice to our wife, or just want to be real dumb and say something cheesy, we do it. But once people started realizing that, I think, that whole aspect of our social media thing kind of just grew, because people were like, man, we really like them. Mm-hmm. Let's invite them into the town. Let's do it. Yeah. If we could just get people to like you, they'll follow anything you're doing, So
that's super cool.
I don't know if people like us yet.
Dude, well, we're talking
That's
about
what the thing I was going to tell y'all.
Oh, yeah, what?
No, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, like, even more of just y'all just strategically putting out this content, even as y'all as a brand, that getting people to like y'all thing is a big thing. And I think where people will get to like y'all, and we probably discussed this, but Hank is the thing. Yeah. If y'all can get Hank visiting places, Hank. Yeah. People will hire Hank. Yeah. That's y'all money. Yeah. People will hire Hank. How I would if I was y'all, is I would lead with Hank. All my content would lead with Hank. Hank would pop up in all these different weird spots and things like that. And then and people will like Hank. I feel like that next level, for y'all on a serious note, is putting Hank in the forefront and letting Hank be the image of the show. Because you can put them everywhere digitally. Yes. You could put them on things. You could put them on slap stickers. And I'm pretty sure y'all got that whole thing going. Y'all got the shirts and y'all doing all of that. But the biggest thing is that Hank could be commercial, and it's more relatable to Florida than us humans, I didn't go to sleep last night till like 5. I didn't go to sleep till this morning till 5. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll be up all day probably till 5 again.
How do you do that?
How do you do it?
I go.
How old are you? You gotta be
41.
I think
you're too younger than me.
How for energy drink?
No,
it's you do that, man.
Well, the thing, man, people ask me that all the time, and I don't know honestly. But I'm not a sleeper, and I'm an early riser. I was up at like 7 posting, but I was posting for my subscribers because I didn't post for them yesterday.
You have a sleep cycle and you're good.
Yeah, even like sometimes I'll take like an hour and a half nap, 2-hour nap during the day if I know I'm gonna be up late.
Gotcha.
And then I'm usually good. But like last night, like I went to Daytona, came back. I got to the bar last night around 12:30. I hung out there for about an hour. I couldn't get out of there. I really wanted to be there for a minute. But I got out of there, and then I had to come home. I had to edit 2 videos. Yeah. Then me and my wife watched a movie, which was good. And then it was about 3 then. So I got into bed around 3, and I was like, oh, shoot. So I prepped a video. I got a business spotlight I got to put out today. So I prepped the video, and then I'll put it out tonight when I get home. So I'm like I've been doing this for a year now. Just go with the content. So it's nothing to me. Yeah. Because
that's just how you do it.
Yeah, I got a quota. I got to post like at least 50 times a day, or that's the least that I need to post.
Did you say 50?
On average, it's 100.
Did you say What?
Hold up now.
Well, you got to understand
Like
something.
on all the platforms?
yeah,
You're saying like
I'm doing multiple platforms.
'Cause you're doing YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
Right. I barely do Instagram, but my Instagram stories hit.
Stories, yeah.
So my stories do more than anything.
Yeah.
So I post there 10 times a day, maybe.
Okay.
We got to think about it
that
like
makes
that.
sense. Yeah.
10 there.
Yeah.
I build up at least 6 or 7 on Facebook if I got time.
Yeah.
And if I'm out and about, like if I'm under 1 million views a day, I'm not doing right.
Whoa.
Yeah. If I'm under,
Combined on all of them?
yeah. I do 1 million views a day generally on Facebook. That's like
your
my
Facebook
average.
is fire.
Yeah,
dude.
my-
Like, that is you're like a half a mil
It's
just
over.
on one of the pages.
Yeah, the Hughley's page, we just hit 528. 528. We got to 28,000 in the last 3 weeks. That last
Followers?
over the 500, that 28,000. We probably did that in like 3 weeks.
Damn.
But we've been traveling too. So
Yeah.
when we travel, we kick. Like usually we'll do anywhere between 500 to 1,000, followers a day.
Yeah.
But if I'm not doing that, algorithms changing, and I know it. So right now, I might be doing half a million views a day on Facebook because they're changing everybody over to the new monetization program. They're outing the old one and they're merging everything. So when they're doing that, they're kind of like slowing. They're not recommending you anymore. Right. But like in a week or 2 weeks, I'll be like some days I'll do 3 million on Facebook in a day, and then whatever I do on TikTok and YouTube. But our YouTube is starting to pick up, so I've been kind of kicking it over there a little bit, and that was something I wanted to talk to y'all too about. Posting y'all longer content on YouTube. It's a special way you got to do it, but it's very time consuming to do it. Like it takes me 30 minutes to load one YouTube video. Like, nah, I ain't trying to do it.
And you do all that on your phone? Do you,
No, I got a laptop.
No, I'm talking about as far as like when you film something and you edit it, you throw it up in the stories or something on Facebook.
No, I do it right then.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like even like when we're doing like day-to-day stuff, like just us, like if we visit a city, such and such day one, I run it all down. Like I got a system. I put it in my editing app. I put it in each video. I cut it to where it looks right and sound right. And y'all notice when I'm doing like those videos, I'm always talking.
Mm-hmm.
Always talking. There's no dead space in the clip because I don't want to give anybody the opportunity to click away. I want every time that thing switches, every clip, it's like its own reel. It's its own video. If you took that's usually what I do. I break all those videos down into reels because I shoot all my day-to-day clips like a reel, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't want people to get bored. Yeah. But I do that like immediately. Like I'll be in the car sometimes just, all right, like a 7-minute video. Like,
Hey, here's a question.
post that thing.
So you're constantly doing this, right? Like this is what you're doing day in and day out.
All day.
What happens when you're burnt out? What happens when you're like what do you do? How do you when you're just saying I need to put my phone down and just like focus on dinner or whatever? Like when you feel that, like do you have a go-to like this is what I do? I literally put my phone down, I watch TV, I hang out with my family. I don't know, like do you have something that you do to just kind of reset?
That's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. But with me is I think I'm just used to it now. But I'm always a father, so even when I'm filming and I'm doing them busy, my kids are seeing, they know they know this is how they get their internet and Robux. Like this is how we're doing it. You know what I mean? So when I'm tired, I say, it's not even about putting my phone down. It's about just going and doing something with my kids to keep me, preoccupied. But even when I'm doing that, the phones come out. You know what I'm saying? It's like my wife, she wants to catch the moment, or we trying to catch that. And even like last night, there's some nights where I just won't film and I won't post it. I went out last night, had dinner, but I'm okay with that now. When I was, when we were grinding and it was like all about money and I got to put this post up because I got to get the money for this post. It was like that. It was like, but it would be like somebody that worked every day and saying you're burnt out from work. We're not allowed as men to be burnt out at work. like I gotta provide. So it don't bother me to do it. But on top of all of that, I love it. So it's not work.
Yeah.
And it's super easy. And my kids, they see it. My son, he has his own, my son builds games. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
So
Wow.
he's, my son is, but they seeing what I'm doing and it's taking them into a different thing. So it's not like me getting burnt out. It's me saying, all right, man, go take the kids, go mini golf. But we do so much anyway. Like they're always doing things for free. Like people are giving them things.
Yeah.
Like when I take them places, they're giving them stuff. Oh, come to this theme park, come there. Free day. We had in Panama City, we had a whole water park to ourselves.
What?
Come an hour early before we open.
That's so cool.
So they get to experience things that, most kids don't get to experience.
Yeah.
So I never really get burnt out because they're having so much fun. And this is how it's, getting there. So.
Yeah.
Okay. One more question on that is, what about like creatively, because you're constantly editing and like filming, do you ever like just get a creative block? You're just like, or no, you're just always like, I just gotta post and you just keep going.
I got like 2 or 3 screws loose. I always got
Okay.
I wake up with dumb ideas. I say stupid stuff. And the thing is that I just don't care.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We worry so much about what we're posting.
Yeah. Okay.
So many people, it's got to be like this. It's got to, well, I don't want to post it. And it's, and I don't like the way I look. And so what? I be in sandals. My toes be out. They don't be done. Like, I don't care. But what happens is when you do that, people see the real you.
Right.
People, and I don't have to change when I'm out in public. I don't have to change when I go meet people. I'm not changing.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I'm me. So many people be like, man, I thought y'all would have been a little different in person. I thought it was all like a game and y'all just joke. No, if you come out with me at night, we gonna drink, we gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
But like my thing is that I'm an adult and I have fun and I'm a good guy. And I treat people how they treat me.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be the biggest thing with it all is just, just being a good person and just having fun. People like, oh, I got friends and people all the time be like, oh, you 40 something, you're a creator. So what? Just because you couldn't do it. Because I couldn't do it. This the future.
Yeah.
This the future. You know how people that got a job right now that can't afford to do stuff? You know what I mean? And if you could sit there and be like I help people keep their business open. I go to multi-million-dollar companies and fix their image. So when you get stuff like that, it just, man, is it bigger than social media? Right. You can't talk about creators. You can't talk about people when y'all are bringing in creators. To look at the commercials on TV now. It's all Foot Locker commercials. Yeah. No matter what it is, Starbucks commercials, no matter what it is, it's a creator in it. Creators are bigger than actors and actresses. They're bigger than everybody now. So if you aren't on that train, it's the future. Don't nobody want to go work in a factory. Don't nobody want to go learn a trade if they don't have to. It's cool to. And if you're doing it, that's cool. Right. If your dad is keeping it in the family, you're a farmer, that's cool. Right. But if you can't figure it out and you're a bubbly person and you're somewhat tech savvy, if you just can make it work, it don't matter how old you are, no matter what you're doing, this can work and it can really work financially. Yeah. Like I'll never really tell people how much money I made this whole thing, but like it'll change your life. Yeah. If you just do it right and concentrate on it. That's cool. And make it that. Like even with this podcast, if y'all believe in it and y'all believe in the products and y'all believe in everything, y'all gotta shove it down people's throat. Post 50 times a day. Yeah. Post this once. Post this once. Post this once. Post Hank with it. The reason why they got Bigfoot with the beef jerky is because they made it. They made us make that connection. You know what I'm saying? And I do that with all of my content. And everything that I put out is strategic. The edit, the whatever it is, it's a whole nother ballpark out there. But I never get a block because there's every day I wake up with a new vision. Right. And cool. And it's Florida. I'll never run out of the history. I'll never run out of relationship stuff. My kids are always around. It's a lot to it, and
Yeah.
I love it. I'm always up for the challenge. It's
Yeah.
a big thing. You know what I'm
We
saying?
are too, dude. We're on that journey, man.
Yeah,
You're
man.
already there, and we're like, we're
Well,
learning from you.
y'all there too. Y'all just ain't capitalizing on
Right.
it.
Exactly.
I think when it comes down to y'all, is y'all missing that. And this ain't y'all fault.
No, yeah, tell us.
What it is.
Tell
No,
us.
you can tell us our fault.
Well, no, it's not about it being y'all fault. It's just the niche that y'all are in. Y'all gotta have that one thing that just make people look y'all way.
Yeah.
You know, y'all got a podcast, cool,
Everybody else does.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody is upset about the developing of Florida,
Right,
but how can
everybody
y'all
is.
connect with the community? How can we get the community to watch y'all stuff because you guys are putting out good points?
Yeah, gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
That suit.
Huh?
That suit.
Right. Because
Is that what you're saying?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Make them look with the suit, but on the other side of the suit,
Have the-
have that thing. People, they invite me
Have
out to
the
these.
value.
People invite me out to these cities, and sometimes they be skeptical when they got to pay that budget. They be like, "Why are we inviting this family out there?" But when we get to the town, if you just look at the comments, man, I'm so glad you guys were in town. Oh, this is it. I love it, man. That's what it's about.
This episode of the Flow Bro Show is brought to you by
BigFloridaEnergy.com.
Yo, we on Flow Bro Show.